Okay, good morning, everybody. First of all, I welcome all the students who are newly admitted to this college as well as their parents also for the orientation program of the first year newly admitted students. Here, for this program, other persons who are present here, they are Associate Dean of the college, Dr. S.B. Kavitkar sir, and the persons who will be very oftenly coming in contact with the students regarding their different problems during this course. They are the hostel wardens, the assistant director of student welfare, NCC in charge, NSS in charge, and all other course teachers who are going to teach you during your very first year of the BVSC and AH degree course. So, after this welcome program, I would now start to deliver my lecture on orientation program of the first year. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I am Dr. S.B. Banu Bakode. I am Professor, Department of Anatomy, but apart from this, I am holding the additional charge as Chairman, Academic Cell. Means whatever the academic activities which will be going on here, I am the person to whom you will have to contact. And from that point of view, I would now start the orientation. So once again, I welcome all of you. Now, this particular degree is called as the BVSC and AH, means Bachelor of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry, and this particular course is run as per the norms of the Veterinary Council of India. These regulations are framed in the year 2016, and earlier also the Veterinary Council of India was there, but your course is of 5.5 years, and this degree of 5.5 years has been started from 2016, and likewise your degree will also be of 5.5 years. Now, what coursework you will have during this 5.5 years of degree course? Regarding that, I would like to tell you that the actual coursework would be taught to you for 4.5 professional years, and there would be a 1 year internship program including entrepreneurial training. Now, regarding the duration of each year, here I would like to say that the first, second, and third year of BVSC and AH is comprised of 1 year, and 1 year means 210 instructional days. Now, instructional days are counted on the basis of the total number of days of the year, and we have to deduct the holidays as well as Saturdays and Sundays, and whatever then remains, so minimum 1 year means 210 instructional days needs to be there. Now, this 210 days forms one academic year, and that will be there for you for the first year, second year, and third year. Whereas fourth year will be of 315 instructional days, means it will comprise of 1.5 year, and then the fifth year would be the internship, which will be of 1 year duration. Now, what is meant by professional year? Now, professional year means a period consisting of minimum 210 instructional days, as earlier also I have mentioned that 210 days comprise 1 year, and that is excluding the annual examination days. Means you will be given the instructions through the classes and the practicals for 210 days, and on completion of that, then your annual examination would be conducted. Now, for the fourth year, you will have 315 instructional days. Of course, that is also exclusive of the annual examination days. Now, the courses which we are going to learn here, for every subject, you will see that when we will go through the syllabus, you will find that the syllabus is distributed in different unit. And what is meant by unit? So unit means the teaching unit of a subject to be covered within the professional year as prescribed in the syllabus of a department. Now, credit hours, this is another term which is again new, because up to 12th standard you have not come across these credits and credit points, the credit hour and this type of terms. Now, credit hour means a weekly unit of the work recognized for any particular course as per the course catalog issued by the university. It means, suppose a particular subject, for example, I would say that anatomy has got 4 credit. 4 credit, the meaning is that in a week you will have 4 theory classes of anatomy. That is the meaning of weekly unit of work recognized for any particular course. Now, what is meant by lecture or theory class of 1 hour per week shall be counted as 1 credit, whereas practical class of 2 hours duration and working period of 3 hours in the veterinary clinical complex and livestock farm complex. Here the meaning is, again I would like to focus on this, that for example, here in the first year you have 3 courses. One is anatomy, second is physiology, third is the livestock production management. Now, anatomy course has got the credit 4 plus 3. The meaning is that the first 4 which is there, it stands for theory, and plus 3 means practical, they are 3. Now, what I have explained you just now, that is the theory class is of 1 hour and practical class in general is of 2 hours, but for the clinical complex and the farm practicals which will be of 3 hours. Now, 1 hour of theory means 1 credit. Now, the credit hours allocated for anatomy course, they are 4 plus 3. The meaning is that the first 4, as I said, it stands for theory. It means you will have the theory classes in a week, minimum 4 classes would be there, and each class would be of 1 hour. Means 4 hours of theory in a week. That is the meaning of 4. Now, what is meant by plus 3? Plus 3, that it stands for practical, and 1 credit of practical is equal to 2 hours. Now, here the practical hours for anatomy are 3. It means 6 hours of practical would be there in a week, and it means for practical you will be called in batches A, B, C, D. And it, of course, it will be given to you in due course of time in which batch you stand. Likewise, so first 4 that stands for the theory, the second 3 after that plus which is there, that is for the practical. So 3 credits of practical, 1 credit of practical means 2 hours, 3 credits of practical means 6 hours. You will have the practical of anatomy, and it means every batch or every student of every batch would be coming for the practical 3 times in a week. That is the meaning. So, I hope that you might have understood this thing, that 4 plus 3, the meaning is that the 4 hours of theory class in a week and 3 practicals, means 6 hours of practical for every student. That is the meaning of the credit hour. Then, as far as the practical class of the clinical complex and the farm livestock farm complex is concerned, as I said that it is as for one credit it is of 3 hours. Suppose in a clinical complex or in a farm complex, whenever a practical is there, so instead of 2 hours of practical, you will have to attend 3 hours of practical there on farm complex or the clinical complex. Then, which are the different subjects which are covered in the BVSC and AH degree course? I will read out all these courses. First is the veterinary anatomy, veterinary physiology, veterinary biochemistry, veterinary pharmacology and toxicology, veterinary parasitology, veterinary microbiology, veterinary pathology, veterinary public health and epidemiology, animal nutrition, animal genetics and breeding, livestock production management, livestock products technology, veterinary gynecology and obstetrics, veterinary surgery and radiology, veterinary medicine, veterinary and animal husbandry extension education, veterinary clinical practices, livestock farm practices. Apart from these courses, there are few non-credit courses. Non-credit means these courses will be examined, but there will be an examination which will be by the internal evaluators, and this includes the renowned veterinary squadron, that is NCC, National Cadet Corps, or equestrian, or national social service, or sports and games shall be the non-credit, which will be 0 plus 1 credits. Now 0 plus 1 means there is no theory for this, but there will be 1 credit for practical, means you will have to attend in a week 2 hours of practical for these training programs. Now, these courses which are non-credit, they shall be compulsory, and the if you do not complete this, then you will not be awarded the Bachelor of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry degree, and therefore they are also equally important. The performance of the students in these training programs shall be assessed or graded as satisfactory or unsatisfactory, and student has to obtain satisfactory grade for successful completion of course requirement. Now, one non-credit course as per UGC, that is, the title of the course is Good Governance and Leadership Development, has to be completed by every student during the first year of BVSC and AH. This course shall be assessed and graded as satisfactory or unsatisfactory, and student has to obtain satisfactory grade for successful completion of this course. Means this course of good governance and leadership development is apart from veterinary anatomy, veterinary physiology, and livestock production management course. These are the major courses, and this good governance course is a non-credit course. Now, the migration or transfer of a student studying in a recognized veterinary college under this head, the meaning is that suppose a student is willing to say undergo his degree or complete his degree at say from the Shirwal Veterinary College, or a student is admitted suppose say in Rajasthan or in say in Andhra Pradesh, but he is actually interested to come to say Mumbai or Nagpur or Parbhani, whatever the college he want. So once the admission is over, he cannot get transferred there, but this particular facility is there for all of you, only on completion of your first year of BVSC and age, and to the maximum of the 5% of the total intake capacity of each veterinary college, these transfers they are possible, and this is done only after completion of the first year from the college from wherever you have been admitted. Suppose you are admitted in Nagpur college and you are interested to take the transfer in some other college in say Chennai. So for that you will have to first clear your first year examination with good CGPA. Now this is a new term. I will come to that term also. What is this CGPA and all? This is nothing but this is actually the percentage of marks. But here we calculate your percentage on the basis of the grade point average. So that is called as the GPA, and C means cumulative CGPA. So at the end of the first year, suppose your result is passed, and if you are applying within 1 month from the date of result of the first year, so during that period, on the basis of the merit, the transfer from one college to other college is possible, but it will be purely on the basis of the merit. And for that, the condition is that you should have cleared almost all the courses which are taught in the first year. Without that, it is not possible, and then you can get admission to the second year of the other college directly. The number of students who are migrating or transferring from one college to another veterinary college during the period of one academic year will be kept as a maximum to the maximum limit of only 5% of the intake capacity. For example, Nagpur Veterinary College has got an intake capacity of 80. So 5% of 80 means only 4 students can get the transfer from this college, and similarly only 4 students can be admitted from other college to this college, and that is done on the basis of the merit of the first year. Now regarding the syllabus and the credits, how many credits you will have to complete during your different professional years of the BVSC and age. Now the first year it is of 1 year, and the total theory credits are 12, and there are 6 practical credits. Total credits are 18. In the second year, again it is of 1 year duration. Total theory credits they are 15, practical credits are 7, total are 22. The third year is again of 1 year duration. 15 theory credits are there, 9 practical credits are there, total credits are 24. The fourth professional year is of 1.5 year, and there theory credits are 8 and practical credits are 9 and total credits are 17. So in all, how many credits during this BVSC and age degree course which you have to complete? They are 50 theory credits and 31 practical credits. So total 50 plus 31 becomes 81. Means on completion of 81 credits, you will get the degree of the BVSC and age. Now regarding examination and evaluation, this part you should try to understand well, because this is very important. Since you are in the first year, you do not have any idea about the syllabus as well as the method of examination, what type of evaluation is there, what are the mandatory criteria regarding the attendance and all. So in short, I will just try to explain you all these things. The distribution of the marks for the objective and subjective questions in each subject will be in the ratio of 40 to 60. It means objective questions are there, which includes the fill in the blank, true or false, then match the pair, choose correct word, answer in one sentence. Likewise questions, we consider it as an objective, and describe or explain or discuss likewise questions, they are called as the subjective questions, and they will be 60% of the questions would be subjective. Now, in order to appear for the examination, what are the mandatory criteria regarding the attendance? Here, the minimum requirement of the attendance is 75% of the scheduled theory and practicals, and the attendance for the theory as well as practical needs to be separately 75% for theory and the practical. However, suppose a student is say sick for a month or two, or there is some very important reason from his point of view that he could not attend the class. So, for that, some relaxation can also be given, and of course, that is given on the basis of the medical ground mostly. No other reason will be hold valid for providing this particular relaxation, and how much relaxation can be given, so that I will just now tell you. So, relaxation of 20 working days for NCC as I told you, or NSS and other co-curricular activities which are mandatory, and they are compulsory also, and for that, if your attendance is less than 75%, then 20 working days may be given the relaxation if your attendance is less in NCC or NSS or in some other co-curricular activities. And medical ground, also the 20 working days relaxation can be given. But if you are absent for say 40 days, then even on if you are sick on medical ground, maximum attendance benefit you will get only for the 20 days. And for the course of 0 plus 1 credit, the relaxation shall be of only 7 days. Now, as I told you that 0 plus 1 credit is a non-credit course, means that is NCC or NSS or your this other activities as well as the democracy. There also the 75% of attendance is necessary, but if it is falling short than 75, you may get the relaxation up to only 7 days. So that needs to be kept in mind, that you cannot remain absent for more than 25% of the days for any reason. Then the candidates having attendance below 75% in a subject shall not be eligible to appear for the annual examination of that subject. Then the percentage of attendance of a student in a subject shall be computed on the basis of total number of theory and practical classes scheduled between the date of commencement of instructions. Now, commencement of date of instruction, today is the first day, and right now we are not in the college, but online you people are attending all these classes, and you will be also attending from Monday also again the same way, that online, because the offline classes has not been started by the government. And likewise in our college also we'll have to learn few of the initial the courses only by online mode, and there also the attendance is mandatory. We will be definitely marking you present or absent, and therefore although you have to attend from Monday all the classes as well as the practicals by online mode, but see that you should be present there during the whole period. At any moment, the other teachers who will be accompanying that person who is giving lecture, they will be observing you that whether you are there full time attending the class or not. And so this also you have to keep in mind. So on the basis of the total number of the theory and the practical classes which are scheduled between the date of commencement of instruction and date of closing of instruction, irrespective of date of registration, provided for the students who are reverted back owing to the failure in the compartment examination, because now you see here compartment examination word has come. Now what is compartment examination, that also in the next one or two slides I will try to explain you. So right now you just remember that your attendance 75% is necessary in order to appear for the examination of that respective course. If your attendance is okay in say two subjects, but your attendance is less in some other subject, so for the subjects in which your attendance is less than 75%, and if there is no relaxation possible in that, then in that case you will not be allowed to appear for the examination of that particular paper. The attendance for the first year shall be counted from the date of commencement of classes, and that is 28th January, means today. From today we are going to count your attendance for this. Now, what type of examination is there? So for this particular course, earlier it was the semester pattern, but since you are in the MSV 2016 syllabus of Veterinary Council of India, so for you the annual examination pattern is introduced. The course teacher should inform the students about the papers, units for the internal assessment examination, the maximum mark, weightage as per the MSV 2016. For example, what type of annual examination would be there? So first, say consider veterinary anatomy. Now for veterinary anatomy there would be two papers, the paper 1 and paper 2. Now paper 1 means theory paper 1, similarly practical paper 1. Likewise theory paper 2 and practical paper 2. And earlier we came across one of the term, and that was regarding the units. So regarding anatomy I would say that for theory there are 8 units. Similarly for practical there are 8 units. And within this, each unit of theory and practical, different lectures they are included, the details of which would be given to you through mail on your email ID. Now regarding theory paper 1, it will be of 100 marks, and the paper 2 will also be of 100 marks. Now these 100 marks of paper 1 would be reduced to 20. Suppose, the meaning is that, suppose a student has scored 80 marks out of 100 in paper 1. It means it will be converted out of 20. How much it will come? It will come to, I think, 16. So 16 out of 20. And in paper 2, if he has scored say 60 marks out of 100, means weightage out of 20 would be 15. Likewise, although the paper would be of 100 marks, but it will be reduced to out of 20. It's a bit difficult for understanding, but when individual teacher will be coming, he will be explaining you regarding this annual examination again, so that you will understand it well. Regarding practical, again units are 1 to 4. It will comprise paper 1 practical, and paper 2 will have 5 to 8 units, means again 4 units are there. The maximum marks for paper 1 practical would be 60, and for paper 2 also 60. And this out of 60, whatever the marks you have scored, that will again be reduced to out of 20 for paper 1 as well as for paper 2. Now promotion in the next professional year means what? Now promotion of a student in a professional year shall be decided only on the basis of the aggregate marks of the internal assessment as well as the annual examination. Just now I have explained you that how many weightage is there for each paper, that is 100 marks for paper 1 and paper 2. Similarly 60 marks each for paper 1 and paper 2 practical, but your result would be made on the basis of the aggregate marks of the internal assessment as well as annual examination. Now what is this internal examination and when it will be conducted? Regarding that, First I'll read out this thing. A student shall be promoted to the next higher professional class only if he or she has passed in all the subjects of his or her class by obtaining at least 50% marks in theory, that is internal and external combined, and practical separately. A student should secure CGPA of 5 out of 10 at the end of degree program to be eligible to get the Bachelor's of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry degree. Now here, regarding the promotion to the next professional year means, suppose in first year of BVSC and AS you are having three major courses as veterinary anatomy, veterinary physiology and livestock production management. In all the three courses of the first year, the minimum marks to get you declared as pass would be 50%. Now, if your score is more than 50% of marks in theory separately and 50% marks in practical, then only you will be promoted to the next year and you will be declared as pass. Now, on that basis only the CGPA is calculated. Now, regarding the schedule of annual examinations, you will have to strictly adhere to the schedule, means there won't be any re-examination on any ground. Even if there is supposed to a student strike or boycott or walkouts or on medical ground, and whatever the reason is, if the exams are scheduled from say 5th of March to 15th of March, means during that period your presence for the examination is mandatory on any ground. Because of any reason, if you are failing to attend the examination, the re-examination will not be conducted. That you have to remember. Then regarding compartment examination, this is again a new term for you. The compartment, the meaning of compartment examination is, it is a kind of say supplementary examination. Means it is for those who are failing in few subjects. So what are the rules and regulations of the compartment examination? Now, compartment examination means a student failing in maximum of 2 subjects. Now you have only 3 subjects in first year. You will have 5 courses in second year, third year and fourth professional year. Out of that, if you fail in 2 subjects only, then you will be eligible for the compartment examination of the subjects in which you failed. And this examination would be conducted within the 20 days after the declaration of the result. Now, here, suppose in first year you failed in say anatomy and physiology also, but you have cleared your course of livestock production management. So, suppose today the result is declared, before 20 days from today you will have to appear for the compartment examination for the courses in which you failed. And when you fail, even if you are failing in say practical, even then you will have to appear for the theory as well as practical examination of that particular subject. So, as I said that if you fail in anatomy and physiology, it means you will have to appear for the theory paper 1 examination as well as theory paper 2 examination of anatomy, as well as you will have to appear for the practical examination of paper 1 as well as paper 2, and likewise for the physiology also. And if that time, if you score more than 50% of the marks, your result would be declared as pass and you will be promoted to the second year. But if you pass in say anatomy but fail in physiology, then what happens? So even after compartment examination, if you couldn't clear all the three subjects of the first year, you will not be promoted to the second year and you will be remaining there in the first year only. But after compartment examination, what is your result? Your result is you failed in physiology but you passed in LPM, that is livestock production management and anatomy. Although you have cleared these two out of three, but when you are repeating your first year, all the three courses you will have to again go through and appear for the examination and again clear those courses. So it is necessary on part of every student that in first attempt only you should try to clear your all subjects. So even if you are fail only in one subject, even after the compartment examination, you are going to lose your 1 year, and therefore you should attend almost all the classes as per the schedule, all the practical as per the schedule, attend almost all the examinations, internal as well as the external. Even after that, if you fail, then you will have a chance of compartment examination. But if you fail in clearing the compartment examination, then you are directly going to lose your 1 year. And although you have cleared almost all courses except one, even then all the courses of that year you will have to freshly register for and again attend classes and examination. Even after failing in any of the year, the attendance during that particular period will be 75%. So again next year when you will be registering for the same year, after fail you cannot remain at home and you will have to attend almost all the classes. Regarding compartment examination, it shall be conducted within 20 calendar days of the subsequent year of registration, as I told you earlier, and within that period your examination of the theory as well as practical will be conducted and result will also be declared. So this is all regarding the compartment examination. Now provisional promotion means, suppose you fail in one of the subject or two subjects out of three, then you will have a chance to register for the next year, but that will be provisional provided you are clearing the courses during the compartment examination. The moment you fail in clearing the compartment examination, even for in one subject, you will be reverted back, and that provisional promotion which was given to you for the next year would be taken back and you will be reverted back. So you will have to repeat the same course again. Regarding the examination, first year I would be focusing on the first year courses, and this, as I told you, that there are three major courses, and those courses are veterinary anatomy, veterinary physiology, livestock production and management, and one more course is there, that is one non-credit course, that is on the democracy and good governance. Now each subject is divided into two papers, as I told you earlier, that anatomy will have paper 1 and paper 2, likewise physiology paper 1 and paper 2, and LPM paper 1 and paper 2. So there will be an internal assessment examination of 40 marks after completion of 30% of the syllabus. Suppose for the course of anatomy, as per the theory syllabus, you will have 144 theory classes in one academic year. Now 30% of the course of say 144 classes would be around say 42 lectures. Means after completion of 42 lectures of the anatomy, means about 30% of the course is completed, that time your first internal assessment would be conducted. Now likewise there would be three internal assessment we are going to conduct during that year. First would be on completion of 30% of the course, second at the completion of the 60% of the course, and third examination when 90% of the syllabus would be completed, that time third internal assessment would be conducted. Now, what is this internal assessment examination? Now, you will have a paper which will be set by your course teachers of that discipline who are going to taught you. The same person would be setting your paper. College will be conducting your internal assessment, and the same teacher, those who have set the paper, they will be checking your papers and you will be shown the papers and as well as the marks. And the marks for each internal assessment would be out of 40. Means on completion of say 42 lectures, that is on completion of 30% of syllabus, when you are appearing for your first internal assessment of say anatomy, you will have to appear for 40 marks examination, the paper of which will be set by your course teacher, and the same teacher would be evaluating your answer books and he will be showing you the marks after checking it. Now these type of three examinations would be conducted for every course, anatomy, physiology and LPM in the first year. Suppose here a student has scored say 30 marks out of 40 in the first assessment. So these internal marks would again be reduced to out of 10. Suppose 30 marks out of 40, the meaning is that out of 10 he has scored 7.5 marks. In the second assessment, suppose his score is out of 40 he has scored 20. It means out of 10 it will come to 5. And in the third assessment, out of 40, if he has scored say 36 marks, means out of 10 it is 9. Now, two best marks out of these three internal assessment are going to get considered. Suppose in first, what was the score? Out of 40 it was 30, means out of 10 it was 7.5 in the first. So 7.5 was your score in first assessment. In second assessment, out of 40, 20 I said, means it will be 5 out of 10 in the second. In first it was 7.5, in second it is 5, and in third assessment you have scored was 36 marks, means 9 out of 10. So which two are best out of these three? 7.5, 5 and 9, means 9 marks of third and 7.5 marks of the first assessment. That becomes 9 plus 7.5, because these two assessments your score is the best, therefore that is 16.5. But these are out of how many marks? The first one was 7.5 out of 10 and 9 out of 10, means 10 plus 10, 20, and here it is 9 plus 7.5, means 16.5 out of 20 would be your internal marks. I would say that these are good marks. But if there is any student who has scored say out of 40, 8 marks in first, out of 40 in second assessment, 16 marks, and out of 40 he has scored only 4 marks in the third. So after reducing it to out of 10, what would be his total? 8 out of 40 means 2 out of 10. 16 out of 40 means 5 out of 4 out of 10, and 4 out of 40 means 1 out of 10. So his total definitely would be less than 10, means out of 20, less than 10, and the meaning is that his score is less than 50% in the internal examination or internal assessment. So that time it definitely becomes very difficult on a part of student to get through that particular subject, and therefore you should try to emphasize more on the internal examination, because the advantage is that During internal examination, these exams are conducted 3 times during that year. First lecture to 42nd lecture is going to be your syllabus for the first. Then from 43rd lecture onward up to say 84th lecture, the second assessment. Means for second assessment you don't have to read the earlier 42 lectures. And for third assessment it will be 85th to say 126th lecture. It means here the quantum of the syllabus is only 1/3 of the total syllabus every time, and therefore there is good scope for you to score good marks during the internal. And if your internal marks are good, then your target for the annual examination would be reduced to much less marks. Because if your internal score is suppose say 16 out of 20, means in annual examination you even if your score is say 45% or 50%, even then you can clear it. And it becomes very difficult on part of any student to read 144 lectures syllabus at the time of the annual examination. It's difficult to score more than 60 marks or 60% or 70%. It's difficult, and therefore I would say that try to score good marks during your internal score. And likewise for other subjects also, these type of the internal assessment would be conducted. And again I'll repeat that this examination would be conducted within the college. The course teachers, they are going to set your paper, course teachers are going to evaluate your papers, and therefore it would be bit easy for you to score good marks during the internal assessment. And annual examination, of course, it is of 100 marks, so it's difficult and it will be on the whole of the syllabus, and therefore it's difficult to score mark there. Therefore try to score good marks during your this internal assessment. Now, as I told you that the internal assessment we are going to conduct, and it is all regarding the theory, but for practical there won't be any internal assessment. Practicals are going to get evaluated only at the time of the annual examination, and a person from other university, not from the Maharashtra Animal and Fishery Science University, Nagpur, means not from Mumbai or Shirwal or Parbhani, Udgir, they will also be considered as the internal persons, and therefore you may get the external examiner from any corner of India, maybe from Pondicherry or from Jammu Kashmir or even Assam. Then regarding the theory examination part of the annual examination, even those papers will not be set by the internal persons, means not from the MOFSU Nagpur, but these papers would be called from any corner of India, and therefore it will be difficult for you to score marks in that. Similarly, for the practical examination, the external from any college other than the Maharashtra state would be coming to evaluate you for the practical, and he will have all the rights to ask you any question during the vivacy, as well as he may ask you to conduct any experiment, and accordingly you will be evaluated, and for the theory as well as practical during the annual examination. Then already I have explained this particular slide that every subject will be of 100 marks, and out of 100 marks 60 marks are for the theory and 40 marks for the practical. Now here again bit chance is there that there is some misunderstanding must be going on regarding the marks. Here I am again saying that every subject is of 100 marks, out of which 60 marks are for theory and 40 marks are for practical. And earlier I was explaining you that internal assessment for every subject is conducted for 40 marks, and then every subject will have two papers, and each paper will be of 100 marks. So I think that you must be having some problems in that. Therefore, I would like to focus more light on this. So earlier when I said that the internal assessment would be there for 40 marks, and such three internal examinations will be conducted, out of which two best we are going to consider. At the same time, I said that each of the examination of 40 marks internal, the marks whatever you have scored are going to get reduced out of 10. And base 2 when we are taking, it means for theory the internal marks were out of 20. Okay. There was no internal assessment for practical. We'll again come back to that particular part. Here in this slide, as I said that every subject is of 100 marks, out of which 60 marks are for theory and 40 marks are for practical. And each subject will have two papers of theory, paper 1 and paper 2, and every paper is of 100 marks. So here, please see it carefully. When I say that paper 1 carries 100 mark and paper 2 also carry 100 mark, and in both the papers, suppose the score is say 50 marks. So each paper's mark of 100 are again going to get reduced out of 20. So in paper 1, if your score is 50 out of 100, your score out of 20 would be 10 in paper 1. And in paper 2, again if your score is 50 out of 100, your score after reducing it to out of 20 would be 10 out of 20. Now you will understand it that in paper 1 you got 10 marks out of 20, in paper 2 you got 10 marks out of 20, means in paper 1 and paper 2 combined your score is 20 out of 40. If it is clear, now what was your internal score? Suppose say it was say 10 out of 20. So your internal 10 out of 20 plus paper 1's 10 out of 20 and paper 2's mark 10 out of 20. So what is the total maximum marks here? 20 plus 20 plus 20 is 60. And this is how I said that every subject will be of 100 marks, out of which 60 marks are for theory. I hope you might have understood this particular thing. Now regarding the remaining 40 marks which are allocated for practical, how they are going to get evaluated. So for the 40 marks of the practical of every subject, again there will be two practical papers. Each paper would be of 60 marks. And suppose a student has scored say 30 marks out of 60 in paper 1 practical, and he has scored again 30 marks out of 60 in paper 2. These 60 marks paper 1 mark again will be reduced to out of 20. So in paper 1 your score was 30 out of 60, means out of 20 it would be 15, it would be 10. And in paper 2 your marks are 30 out of 60, it means there also you have scored 10 marks. So 10 plus 10, 20, but this will be out of 20 plus 20 means 40. So 20 out of 40, and this is how the practical marks 40 can be justified, right? So every subject would be evaluated for 100 marks, out of which 60 marks are for theory, 40 marks are for practical. For theory there is internal assessment, for practical there is no internal assessment. And those 60 marks of theory, how it is coming? So out of best 2 out of 3 internal examination, we are although conducting the examination for 40 marks, but each 40 internal examination we are reducing out of 20, out of 10, and base 2 when we are taking, so that comes out of 20, and plus paper 1's mark after out of 100 whatever is your score would be reduced to out of 20, and paper 2's mark out of 100 would be reduced to out of 20. So 20 plus 20 plus 20, it makes 60, and that total whatever is your score, if your score is more than 30 and more out of 60 in theory, you would be declared pass in theory. But if your score is again out of 40 in practical, if it is 20 and above, then you will be pass. Now we'll take another case. In theory, your score out of 60 is say 45, but in practical your score is 18 out of 40. It means in practical your score is less than 50%, but your then overall result will be declared as fail. Although you have scored good marks in theory, that is 45 out of 60, but since you failed to score 50% of the marks in practical, you will not be declared fail only in practical, but you will be declared fail in that complete subject. And although you have cleared your theory marks, again during compartment examination, you will have to appear for the theory paper also. So this is very, very important thing, that you need to score 50% of the marks separately in theory as well as practical. The next slide, this is the example which is given here regarding the internal assessment. The first assessment, second assessment, third assessment, as I told you, that every assessment would be conducted for the 40 marks each, and out of 40, suppose a student has scored 36, that will be reduced to out of 10, and that comes 9. In second assessment, his score is shown 32 out of 40, it means his score would be 8 out of 10. In third assessment, his score is shown 28 out of 40, it means his score is 7 out of 10. We are going to consider only best 2 out of these 3. So best 2 are, one is 9 out of 10 and 8 out of 10. So his internal 2 best assessment are 9 plus 8, that is 17 marks out of 20 is going to get carried for as his best score of our internal assessment. Now during the annual theory exam, in paper 1 his score is shown 60 out of 100, it means 12 out of 20. And in paper 2 score is shown 50 out of 100, it means 10 out of 20. So here out of 20, 13 out of 10 in second paper, and internal is 17. So this makes a total of 60, and he has scored 39. Marks are above 50%, hence result is pass. In practical, for paper 1, you will be evaluated for 60 marks, your score is 45, it will be reduced to out of 20. So 45 out of 60 means it will be 15 out of 20. In paper 2, score is 30 out of 60, means it will be reduced to 10 out of 20. Total would be 25 out of 40. Again these marks are above 50%, hence the result will be declared as pass. Okay, likewise every subject would be there. Now this is the schedule of the examination during the BVSC and AH, which will consist of the internal assessment and the annual examination, and they are shown below again. Already I have explained you this thing, that the first internal assessment would be conducted on completion of 30% of the syllabus, second from 31st to 60 would be your syllabus for the second, and 61 to 90% of the classes when will be the syllabus for your third internal assessment. Maximum marks for which this internal assessment would be conducted would be 40, and a weightage would be taken out of 10. Base 2 they are going to consider uh, from the internal assessment. Annual examination, paper 1 100 marks, paper 2 100 marks, and again it will be reduced to out of 20. Actual examination of annual examination of practical for paper 1, maximum marks would be 60, weightage would be 20, means 60 marks whatever you have scored out of 60 would be reduced to out of 20. Same thing for paper 2 again. Already we have seen this. Now the duration of the internal assessment shall be 1.5 hours, whereas duration of annual theory examination shall be 3 hours for each paper. 1 month prior to the commencement of the annual examination, the two best internal assessment marks shall be submitted by the instructor through the head of the controller to the head of the controller of the examinations or the registrar. The internal assessment shall be conducted by the concerned instructor. This also I have already narrated you. The annual examination, 4 professional examinations, one each after first year, second year, and third year, and the fourth annual examination would be after 1.5 years. Already we have covered this one. Then the practical examination for the livestock farm complex and veterinary clinical complex shall be conducted twice a year. That is, first practical examination after completion of 50% of syllabus, and the second one when the course is completed. But the second examination shall comprise of entire syllabus. As we have seen that the internal examination for the theory, the syllabus of the first assessment is not there for the second. The syllabus of the first and second assessment is not there for the third. But here in the practical courses like VCP, that is veterinary clinical complex, and LFC, that is livestock farm complex, both these are the practical courses, and for this the internal examination first will be completed after completion of 50% of syllabus, the second one when the course is completed, but the second examination is going to have the entire syllabus. Then student shall be promoted to the next higher professional class only if he or she has passed in all the subjects of his or her class by obtaining at least 50% marks in theory, that is internal and external combined, and practicals separately. Then failed student, they will have to register again for the entire professional class they failed in, and such student shall have to fulfill all the requirement of a class of fresh. Means, suppose today you are admitted in the first year, but by any reason if you fail in clearing your first year, you will be reverted back and you will have to attend again almost all classes as a fresh student along with the next year's batch. That is the meaning of that. And student failing in annual examination for 3 consecutive years. Now this year is, you are admitted during the year 2020-21. Your second year would be 21-22, and third year will be 22nd-23rd. And during these 3 years, if you could not clear all the subjects of the first year, then you will be finally dropped from the college roll, and you will have to go home by leaving this particular degree because of your poor academic performance. Then, and therefore here you have to remember that clearing every year almost all subject is very, very important. If you fail first time, you are going to get a chance. Second time again if you fail, then you will be given a third chance. But consecutively if you are failing on third attempt also, then as I told you that your name would be finally dropped from the roll and you will stand nowhere, we are going to hand over you the TC on the basis of your poor academic performance. Then in no case the student shall be allowed to continue his or her BSc and AS studies beyond 9 academic year, excluding internship in veterinary college. Now this was an example which I have given you regarding the first year. If the same thing happens in say during second year, again you failed once. During third year, if you failed twice. During fourth year, again you failed twice. It's possible that the person who is admitted during the year 2020-21 must necessarily clear almost all courses by during the year 2028-29. If you cannot complete this coursework of 4.5 years, excluding the internship period of 1 year, your admission stands cancelled, and therefore you cannot afford to fail during any of the year. This is also possible. Consecutively 3 times if you are failing in 1 year, your name will be dropped. But if you are failing not continuously 3 times in any of the year, but for every year you are taking 3 years, that is also not allowed. You must necessarily complete your coursework of 4.5 years within 9 years from the date of your admission. Here for your batch, the date, academic year you are admitted is 2020-21. It means you must complete your course by 28-29, and if you cannot complete it even after say 9 years of your stay in the college, you will not get degree and we will only hand over you the TC. So this you have to keep in mind, that it's very important that you have to complete your degree within the stipulated time. Now what is meant by grading? Now we have seen the examination part. So how they decide what is the meaning of grade point or CGPA. CGPA means the cumulative grade point average. Now grade point in a subject shall be the total marks obtained by a student out of 100 divided by 10. That is the meaning. It's simple because we have got 10 point scale here, and therefore it is easy. For example, in anatomy you have scored including theory and practical. As I told you earlier that every subject is of 100 marks. So out of 100 in first year your anatomy you have scored say 62 marks. So your grade point for anatomy would be 6.2, because whatever the marks you have scored out of 100 would be divided by 10. So 62 divided by 10 comes 6.2. Likewise, you can calculate your grade point for each and every subject. Here some few examples are given, that if a student has got marks in first year as follows: veterinary anatomy 70 marks out of 100, means grade point is 7. Then LPM 70 marks, grade point would be 7. And in physiology, again he has scored suppose say 70 marks, grade point would be 7. So this is the grade point of that particular subject. But then what is credit point? Here, which are shown here as a bold letter. So grade point would be, for in anatomy your GP is 7. But anatomy is a course of how many credits? It is 4 plus 3, means 7 credit. 4 plus 3 is 7. What is your grade point? Grade point is 7. Credits are also 7. And therefore 7 into 7 is 49. In LPM, you scored 70 marks, means your grade point was 7. But credit point would be calculated as how many credits are there for LPM? It is 4 plus 2 course. It means 4 plus 2 is 6, and therefore 7 into 6 is 42. And physiology, there also your score is 70, grade point would be 7, and therefore credit point, while calculating credit point you have to consider how many credit course it is. It is a course of 4 plus 1 credit means 5, therefore 7 into 5, and then you have to make total of all these points and divide it by total number of credits. Here total points are 49 points of anatomy, 42 points of LPM, and 35 points of physiology, and the credits of anatomy are 7, credits of LPM are 6, and credits of physiology are 5. So 7 plus 6 plus 5 comes 18. So whatever the total grade points are there, that would be divided by the total number of credit, and that is what is called as the CGPA. So that total is coming like this: 49 plus 42 plus 35, that comes to the total of 126 divided by 18 total credits, and therefore it comes to 7. So 7 will be your grade point average. Now grade point average means GPA. Again, the overall grade point average or OGPA, how it is calculated? This is the GPA of the first year. Likewise, there will be grade point average of second year, there will be grade point average of third year, fourth year, and when we add all these GPA of first to fourth year and divide it by total number of credits which you have completed, that will be considered as the overall grade point average, and accordingly your result will be declared whether you have passed this degree in first division with distinction when your CGPA or OGPA is 8 and above. You will be declared passed in first division when your OGPA is 7 to 7.99. You would be declared pass in second division when your OGPA is 6 to 6.99, and you will be declared only pass when your OGPA is 5 to 5.99. Then professional year-wise distribution of the courses, in which courses how many credits are there, which are the courses which you have to learn, that is given here. In the first professional year, there are 3 major courses, and the fourth course which is shown with this red letters, I will read out first those. Veterinary anatomy, 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. Veterinary physiology, 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. Livestock production management, 4 plus 2 is equal to 6. And the course which is written in red letter, that is the non-credit course on good governance and leadership development. So that is 0 plus 0, means we are not going to consider the result of this particular course for giving you the the class, first class, second class, or with distinction, or simply pass. But here, although it is 0 plus 0, the internal evaluators are going to evaluate you and they are going to give you the grade as satisfactory, and unless you clear this course with the remark of satisfactorily completed, you will not be given the degree. So total number of credits in the first professional year are 12 plus 6. The meaning is that there are 12 theory classes in a week and 6 practical classes which will be of 2 hours duration per credit, and total credits they are 80. In the second professional year, you will have the courses like veterinary microbiology 3 plus 2, veterinary pathology 4 plus 2, animal genetics and breeding 3 plus 1, animal nutrition 3 plus 1, veterinary biochemistry 2 plus 1, and total credits are 15 plus 7 is equal to 22. In the third professional year, you will have the courses like veterinary pharmacology and toxicology 4 plus 1, veterinary public health and epidemiology 3 plus 1, veterinary parasitology 3 plus 2, livestock product technology 2 plus 1, veterinary and animal husbandry extension education 3 plus 1, veterinary clinical practices 0 plus 1, it's a practical course, and livestock farm practices 0 plus 2. Total credits are 15 plus 9 is equal to 24. In the fourth professional year, you will have the courses like veterinary surgery and radiology 2 plus 1, veterinary medicine 4 plus 1, veterinary gynecology and obstetrics 2 plus 1, veterinary clinical practices 2 0 plus 6. It's again a practical course. Total credits are 8 plus 9 17. So this is all about the different courses which you have to learn during your 4.5 years of stay at the college for while completing your all the subjects before you go for the internship of 1 year. Now regarding registration, every student has to register for the next professional year after passing the previous year by filling the roster form which contains the subject offered in the professional year and has to pay requisite fees. The students appearing for compartment examination shall also have to register for the next professional year and will be reverted to previous year if fail in compartment examination. Then at the time of registration, it is not possible for you to register yourself when you are absent. Means in absentia registration is not permitted in any case. If a registration date is suppose say 1st January, and if you fail in registering yourself and paying your fees on that day, then late fee would be charged from you from the next day. So late registration you can propose for, and a student seeking admission to professional year other than the first shall be permitted by the associate dean on payment of late fees, that is 200 rupees per day as prescribed by the university from time to time up to a period of 5 working days only, excluding the day of notified registration. Then late registration for a period of up to 10 working days shall be permitted by the dean faculty on recommendation of the associate dean of the college and on payment of 400 rupees per day, that is from 6th to 10th day up to a period of 10 working days from and including the date of registration. And no registration shall be permitted on expiry of this period on any ground, however, for genuine reason, with permission of Honorable Vice Chancellor and payment of rupees 600 per day, or as prescribed by the university from time to time for additional maximum 5 working days, that is 10 to 15 days, can be permitted. So this is all regarding the registration. After the last date of registration, including the period specified for late registration, students shall not be permitted to register in that professional year. However, within 2 months from the last date of registration, he or she shall have to obtain written permission from the head of the institute for the registration of the next professional year whenever due, provided he or she shall pay the fee of semesters in which he or she did not register. If he or she fails to do so, his or her name shall be removed from the university roll and his or her admission stand cancelled. Candidate may be allowed provisional registration to the next professional year provided he or she has failed in maximum of 2 papers. He or she can be permitted to the next BSc and H class unless he or she has cleared the subjects in the ensuing compartment examination. Now, there are certain instructions to you regarding the anti-ragging. So, the students and their parents shall have to fill up the anti-ragging affidavit every year, which is available on there. You can note down this website www.antiragging.in or www.amanmovement.org. After filling the online anti-ragging affidavit, take print out, sign it, and submit it to the academic cell of the college. And this type of affidavit you have to fill up every year, and it is compulsory. Regarding counseling system, here we have a counseling system under the Assistant Director of Student Welfare. Now your batch will be of about 80 students. Out of these 80 students, 10 to 15 students would be allocated to one academic staff member who will act as your counselor or advisor. For any kind of difficulty during your stay of 4.5 to 5.5 years in the college, you will have to first contact that counselor or advisor and then initiate your letters or your correspondence regarding anything. So every time your counselor and advisors needs to be contacted by every student, and regarding your even any kind of difficulty, you open your mouth before him and discuss the issue. Then the students should meet the counselor at least once in a month and seek advice in personal difficulties and guidance. So all are requested that after allocation of the advisor or the counselor to you, it will be notified within short period of time, and you will be given one counselor or the advisor to whom you have to, in a group of 10 or 15 or whatever number of students are there, you have to see your counselor or advisor on at least once in a month. But apart from that, if you have any difficulty, you can meet him and get your difficulties solved. Directly, you are not supposed to contact any of the authority of the college or the university without the knowledge of the counselor or the advisor. So every time you have to take permission for anything. Whenever you have to go to any authority regarding any of your difficulty, first you will have to talk to your counselor and get advice. If you are not satisfied with due intimation to your counselor or advisor, you can take your other steps to go and see the higher authority, but without his knowledge you are not supposed to approach any of the authority of the university of the college. The counselor should conduct a monthly meeting to review the overall performance of the students. So even if you are not understanding any particular subject, or if you have any query regarding any subject or any teacher or library or anything, it may be even your personal, maybe some financial problem or some family problem or anything, he will be there as your guardian. So you have to open your mouth and talk to him and tell your difficulties, so that he will try to find out at his level best to provide you the solution for any kind of problem. Then procedures to be adopted for imparting trainings in the veterinary hospitals or the institutions, and internship with suitable adjustment at the veterinary clinical complex shall be a separate department in every veterinary college under the independent charge of the faculty member of the rank of the professor with specialization in any of the clinical subjects, and shall operate round the clock. This is of course not very useful to you. In due course of time you will understand when you will go to the clinical subjects and all. So there shall be residential accommodation for clinical and hospital staff. This is also not necessary for you. Then this is all regarding the different departments which should be there for the livestock farm complex. Then regarding internship program, right now you don't need to know all these things. Only I can say that the internship program will be there, which duration of which will be 1 year, and you will be posted at different places, maybe on poultry farm or cattle breeding farm or any dispensary or even polyclinic or district polyclinic or the college polyclinic, and different laboratories which are under the state government, and you will be observed by the internship coordinator during that particular period of time. Then internship shall be undertaken only after completion of the credit requirements as well as non-credit courses. This already I explained you. Then I think I have covered almost everything, and from my side, I have completed my talk. Now I request Associate Dean Sir and others in charge of the different departments, if they are interested, they can brief the students regarding the activities like cultural activity, NCC activity, NSS activity, regarding the hostel difficulties, and whatever the things are there. So, this is all from my side. Thank you. कितनी देर का हुआ?